Hi and welcome back to Kanji Master. The first kanji we're going to look at today is the kanji for pull or tug, jerk, admit, install, quote or refer to. Most commonly pull. A lot of meanings, very common kanji though. The onyomi reading is in, and the kunyomi reading is the hit in hiku or hikeru, meaning to pull or be able to pull. Pretty simple shape. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. To try and remember it, if you look at this shape on the left hand side here, this one, and look at it as a spring, and this one on the right here is a stick, you can think about trying to pull on this stick that's attached to this spring, and it flicks back and forth and keeps hitting you in the face, and that pain is like, ow, I shouldn't have pulled that. Pull, stick, and let it go, and bounces back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Bad idea. Shouldn't have pulled on that stick that was attached to that spring. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. On to the next one. Okay, next we're going to have a look at the kanji for wide, broad, or spacious. It's a pretty simple shape. The onyomi reading is called. The kunyomi is the hiro from hiroi, hiromeru, hirogaru, hirokeru. Okay, that was terribly read. Apologies. Very simple shape to draw though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, this kind of looks like the shape for mu, katakana mu again, and this shape on top, I'm going to refer to wanikani again, as I do almost every day. They call this one a mullet, which you can kind of see. So it looks like a helmet with a line at the back, so that's mullet. And mu, so if you can imagine our politician slash ever-evolving cow, you can think he's getting bigger and bigger, wider and wider. He's kind of getting famous just for being fat now. As he goes moo, 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 and he's got a very luscious mullet that's also growing wider and wider. Strange one, strangely easy just to remember. On to the next one. And next we have the kanji for ri, village, parents' home, or league. I'm not sure what ri is exactly, but that seems to be the most common reading for it. Pretty easy to draw. If you see it here, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's pretty terrible, but you get the idea. If you look at the shape, the top part looks like a rice field, and the bottom part is soil. So if you imagine that in your, well, it's probably a plain story, but imagine in your village, you have the best soil in the world, and it's famous that you can imagine them using all these rice fields. It was a bit of a lame story, but you'll see this shape coming up again and again and again in so many other kanji that I think you'll just know it anyway. But if you can just remember that it's basically just rice field and soil together, and you should be fine. Cool. On to the next one. Have a look at the kanji for rice, USA, or meter. The onyomi reading is bei or mai, as in Beikoku, meaning USA. And the onyomi reading is kome or yone. I don't know what yone is, but kome means rice, like just raw rice. It's pretty simple to draw. Just draw these two lines at the top. And draw the cross. And it's kind of a good tree. There's two ways of remembering it. The first one would be obviously that this bottom shape looks very similar to a tree, and you should imagine a tree with these 2 grains of rice on the top instead of like it could be a Christmas tree, and instead of a star you've got these 2 grains of rice, which is a very poor Christmas tree, but there you go, maybe someone who really loves rice. The other thing you can imagine is it's the cross shape shooting out rice in all directions, like a magic rice bearing cross. And you just think, when you see the cross, you think of rice shooting out in all directions. On to the next one. On to the next one. This next kanji means shape, form, or style. The onyomi reading is kei or gyo, sorry. And the kunyomi reading is kata, gata, katachi, or nari. Probably some of these words you've probably heard before. To draw it's quite simple. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a bit of an angle there. I'll draw that one again in a second. But before I do, let's talk about a way to remember it. The shape on the left-hand side is very similar to the shape we drew when we drew open. So I'll draw it again here, sloppily. Like that. Open. And we talked about this part here being a kitchen, like a picnic table. So we're going to keep it as that, picnic table. On the right-hand side, this looks kind of like scratch marks from a cat, like a cat's paw would make. It's also very similar to the kanji for me. My cat scratched me. That's how I used to remember that katakana. Anyway, so if you can imagine for the shape, you can imagine that a cat is scratching a kitchen, like a picnic table, until it becomes like a very unique shape, maybe like Michelangelo's David or something like that. Something like that. That would work, maybe. The more elaborate a shape you can imagine this cat carving with its claws, the better. Shape or form. Draw it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That's it. On to the next one. And the last kanji for today means hit right appropriately himself. The onyo reading is to, as in honto, as in really, and onyomi is the ata from ataru, the a from atari, the a from ateru, and the masa from masani. You'll see this kanji a lot. I imagine this is pretty frequent. I think it's definitely in the top 100. Anyway, to draw it is quite simple. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that. Again, we have this sort of backwards E shape, and then these 3 lines at the top. This shape at the top here, 1, 2, 3. Wanikani describes this sort of radical as the triceratops. You can imagine the triceratops. And the E is, well, for us, it's just an E, isn't it? So if you can imagine that this E, the real E, has a lot of personality. It's almost like this wild dinosaur, and it sprouts these 3 horns and comes to life. And this is the ata from ata to hit. So maybe it tries to hit you, it tries to run up and bump into you. You can imagine an E coming to life with the page and growing 3 horns and coming up and hitting you. I know this is late and my stories are getting weirder and weirder, but I think you're going to be hard pressed to forget this one. It's a simple shape. Plus, you just see it all the time. The different readings for ataru, the different meanings, for the reading of ataru is almost endless. So I guarantee you'll come across it. Anyway, that's it. It's another day of Kanji Master finished up. Hope everyone's studies are going really well. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Later.